dancing friends, Allison here. And today's video is going to be on pirouettes. Yes, a very never perfected move in my opinion. Seems like you can always get better at them, you can always go more times around. I'm going to give you some tips and advice that I've learned in my few years of dancing that perhaps you have heard already, and I know I've heard them many times in class. And maybe that's because my teacher noticed I never was doing it quite right. I am by far no expert at pirouettes. If you watch my dancing style videos, you can tell I can hardly do a double in flat shoes. I do find that these tips do help when I'm practicing, so here we go. So here we are. This is my lovely professional bar. Cost me lots of money. No. Okay, so basic steps. Y'all probably already know this, but it's sometimes easy to forget when you're concentrating on so many other things, but you gotta know the basics. Pulling yourself up. I cannot stress how important this is. My teacher stresses it actually enough for me and her both. Pulling up means taking this and sticking it in. And shoulders back and down. And think about pulling your rib cage out of your hips, pulling your body up out of your feet, out of your shoes. It especially helps to remember this if you're doing pirouettes. And point, and also helps you to feel lighter, gets you off the ground. Think about just being as tall as you possibly could be. It's just a pretty good exercise to practice. Just breathe. Suck that stomach in, push that tail under, keep that back straight, shoulders back, chin not like that, just, and not like this either, just kind of, one of my teachers always says, present your chest. It helps you maintain good posture. Now once you've got that down and you're pulled up and you're ready to go, next ones aren't really going to be in order of importance, but turn out. Not from your ankle, not from your knee, from your hips. Just crank those babies out. Are we still pulled up? Alright, good. The form of your passe itself is going to be really important. This is how I was taught. Leg turned out, obviously, just right under your kneecap. Okay? We're going to keep your hips level as much as you possibly can while still being pulled up. And this is going to be your position to practice for your perfect pirouettes. You can just stay here forever and ever and ever. Why not? Balancing, breathing, shoulders back and down, back straight, present that chest, turning out from your hips, butt tucked. Now you're also going to want to practice holding that position on releve, of course. I will say it again. Pull up, pull up, pull up out of this leg. And stay. Forever and ever and ever. Woo! See, that got my heart rate up. Even if it's an easy move, if you're doing it right, you're pushing yourself. As you're going to perform the pirouette itself, something that I'm always told is don't think around, again, think up. If all you're trying to do is get yourself around, you're going to tend to do this as you're turning. Of course, that's exaggerated. Or what we call winding up, where you're about ready to execute your pirouette and you wind up. No, don't do that. You want to perfect this position right here, turning in a circle. Before you go for times around, you want to go for how long you can stay in your perfect passe position. And the way to do that, in my opinion, would just be practicing taking your pirouette position. I'll take a fourth. And practicing just going right up to passe. Or from fifth, and just practice plie right up to your passe. Work through that position, baby. You can never do that enough times. Try to imagine a line going from your supporting leg up through here, right up the center, to the top of your head, perfectly straight. If you're spinning, say a top, and it's perfectly straight up and down, it won't wobble. That's the same concept you're going to have with your pirouettes. You don't want any wobbling, so imagine keeping that line straight. And as you're turning, And as you're going into your pirouette, think about that line. It's still straight. You go spring up. It's still straight. You're turning. Okay? You still want to have that perfect line. And then you'll be able to come down and finish. Another thing that really helps when you're actually going to execute the pirouette is to just breathe out as you're turning. Just think as you're turning. It's, you know, it's not something you're going to want to be like, you know. Obviously you're not going to want to do that. Keep breathing, but if you just that little puff of air as you're turning, just kind of like as you're going to turn, okay? It just helps a little bit. Also, if you haven't figured this out already, don't use a ponytail, use a bun. Especially if you have long hair, it's going to whip around and hit you in the eyes. The strength of your feet and your lower leg is very key in pirouettes, as obviously you will be springing up onto elevate for that, or relevate. That just goes right back to your basic exercises. Or take a plie, pop the arch, and up. Think up, 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 up. Just working through those feet. So in the end, I'd say it comes down to these main core elements. Pulling yourself up. Keeping your upper body strong and secure, not wobbling all over the place. Your turnout, and of course the strength of your ankles. So there you go, guys. Those are a few basic, simple tips. Perhaps maybe you haven't heard one of them before, and now you'll be able to take that one other element and incorporate it into your perfect pirouette. Tell me, what are your secret little tips or things that you keep in mind when you do your pirouettes? Leave it in the comment section below. Give me a video response. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!